from Learfield. This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mosic.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show as Ohio State improves to 2-0, shutting out Western Michigan 56-0. We'll talk about that and more with former OSU All-American and NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey. Happy Monday.
Back for another one. I love it.
Legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, and now that James Earl Jones has passed away, the voice, Paul Keels.
This is like living life on the Ponderosa, Skip.
Hall of Famer, former Ohio State head coach John Cooper in with us tonight. Always love talking football with Coach Cooper.
Thanks for having me. Good to be with you guys.
Coach Ryan Day will join us in just a bit. Coach Cooper, it is hard to nitpick after a win like we saw on Saturday night. From a coach's perspective, what are some things that you're always looking to improve that many of us don't see after a win like? What's a coach see?
You know what I think happened? I don't think we played that well in the first game. Jim, you and I both were out at practice last week, and I think that they had some great practice sessions because we didn't play all that good in the first game. I don't know what else you could do different in that second game. Everything went perfect. I mean, it's 21-0 in the first quarter, 35-0 halftime. Played a lot of players, didn't get anybody hurt, and looked good doing it.
Like I said, it's hard to nitpick, Jim, but coaches, they're always going to find something.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at technique, because it's there's a technique part, and then did you get the job done? And obviously, getting 56 points, you got the job done. But you want to look at your technique. Was your first step, was it 8 inches or 12 inches? We wanted 8 inches. So you just, there's things that coaches will look at technique-wise. And then, if you want to be hypercritical, you say the 6 penalties. You got to clean some of that. One of them cost him obviously a big touchdown for Quinshon Judkins.
Paul, defensively, what's more impressive in your mind, the shutout or holding a team to under 100 yards of offense?
Equal, but also, Skip, maybe the biggest thing is so many people are involved in what this defense is doing. You see the pressure coming from all points, the defensive backs making big plays, and, basically 2 new linebackers handling those roles. So the fact that so many people are having so much to do with it is impressive.
Jim, a lot of people wanted to see improvement from the offensive line. What did you see?
I saw him coming off the ball, getting that next level. And you saw, from our vantage point up in the press box, you could see that whole line kind of move the Broncos, off the line of scrimmage a yard or two. And, we talked about it so many times, if you can get that running back to that defensive tackle's heels, there's a chance he's going to pick up, obviously positive yardage there. And they were able to do that on a consistent basis. And they had some short drives. I think the longest drive was, 8 plays, and that was in the second half. Most of them were, 4, 5, 6 play drives for touchdowns. So you're getting it done, and you're making some big plays, explosive plays were there, but I thought they played a lot better than they did week 1, and that's to be expected because they had a little bit more time together, during a course of a game. Now this week 2, it started coming together a little bit better.
Coach Cooper, we saw a big upset on Saturday. We saw some close calls on Saturday. How much of an attention getter is that for good football teams like we have here at Ohio State?
It gets your attention. There's absolutely no question about it. You look out there, and when you were at Ohio State, Notre Dame, schools like that, you better get ready to play every Saturday because you're going to take the other team's best shot. There's no question about it. You cannot go out there and not play and particularly if you make mistakes, turn the ball over and give the other. Don't put them away early. Give them a chance. You don't want it to go down to the wire. And then Notre Dame, that's what happened to them.
Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people, including an appearance from a former Buckeye player at your home for an away game this season. It's the Giant Eagle Ultimate Buckeye Homegate presented by Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/homegate for your chance to win. Ohio State is idle this week. They'll host Marshall a week from Saturday. Noon kick will be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready, recover, repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passionate Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
All right, we'll kind of go around the horn a little bit with a couple of these. If you had to point to one thing different about this Ohio State football team to last year's Ohio State football team from this point, going back 1 year, what would it be, Paul?
I would say that you've got to be concerned about the quarterback running. It was never really an option last year, never even really a threat last year. But the fact that Will Howard is a known threat to run with the football, that's probably something that adds that additional wrinkle to the offense.
Defense has got to account for the quarterback. I think one thing that jumps out at me, I think we got more depth. I mean, we got competition, we got running backs, we got wide receivers. I mean, we don't have 2 running backs, but even the third running back I thought looked good. And wide receivers, we got a handful of great wide receivers.
I think play calling. I think moving that quarterback out, you saw some of those rollouts or run-outs where he'll run like he's going to throw to the sideline. And, obviously the one he hit to Jeremiah Smith, he put it on the hitch play. He looked at the outside first, kind of drew some attention there and then threw it in. So just moving that quarterback around a little bit different. The play action seems to be maybe a little bit different than it was a year ago. And, of course, Chip Kelly's the one calling the plays.
All right, next up, running game. Some of us have been begging for a 100-yard game from someone. Finally got it from Quinshon Judkins. Heck, it could have been a lot more had the one long one not been called back. What have you seen from the Ohio State running game from Judkins, Henderson, Peoples, etc.?
I like all those guys, and they've all stepped up. And, it takes a special person to want to share that role because a lot of backs like to get, lathered up, as they so to speak. They like to get the 15 carries and then get to 20, 25 carries so they can, really pound and put those numbers in. You understand what the defense is doing. You get more in sync with your offensive line. But these two guys seem to be very comfortable sharing the reps. And, again, we talked about it. This, 12-game regular season. Hopefully you make the Big Ten Conference game. And then you make the playoffs. You got a chance to play 3 or 4 more there. So you got to – I think they bought into understanding that, hey, this is a long go. We got to share some of these reps here. And, and that's been paying off for them. They've both been hitting the hole very well, and they both look like they have fresh legs, so I think that's a good thing.
I think what you're going to see more of, because our wide receivers are so good, they're not. If somebody's out there playing our wide receivers man to man, I'm going to throw them the football.
Right.
So I think they're going to spread them out and run the ball. Spread them out and run the ball.
Paul, what have you seen from the running game?
Well, I think the offensive line has probably played with a little more cohesion, even without Donovan Jackson for a couple of games, and guys that have played a lot. Remember last year, you were replacing 3 guys who were in NFL training camp, so I think there's probably some growth there.
All right, next up, Jim alluded to it, but Jeremiah Smith, there's fast and then there's that kind of fast. He's like the road runner out there, beep, beep. Is it going to be like pick your poison, you think, for defenses on which receiver to pay attention to?
I don't think there's any question about it. Chip Kelly looks out there and sees that safety's playing in the middle of the field. It's one-on-one on the corner. And one-on-one, we're going to win that battle.
Yeah, I think Will Howard's looking at the same thing when he sees that. If he sees one-on-one, he's going to, dial up some plays and especially look towards number 4. But then again, you can't forget about Carnell Tate, what he's been able to do in these first 2 games, and then Emeka Ibuka, what he's been able to do throughout his whole career. So they got a lot of talent there. Pick your poison, right? Who are you going to double? Who are you going to try to, take out of the ball game? Because they're going to recognize that right away and, decoy them or whatever you got to do and then throw the other way. So it does make it tough for a defense to line up against these 2 guys after, 2 games. Obviously averaging 54 points a game. They found a way offensively to put some points on the board and score.
Which makes it interesting that they intentionally got the ball to the tight end on the first play from scrimmage.
You noticed that, absolutely. Defense was dominant. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but does it seem like Ohio State gets called for or at least looked at for targeting at least once a game? Does it seem like that's the case?
You know what? You could probably think that with almost any team, but it does seem that way. Now, we did look it up. There was a holding penalty on Western Michigan.
Yeah, Jack
which was why they looked for that. But it certainly does seem that way, and I think that's kind of the price you pay for playing aggressively, unfortunately.
Well, Paul, we've been doing it a long time, Skip.
It could have been one of 2 guys, too.
Do you remember a targeting going our way? One of our guys had been targeted.
Yeah,
I remember a Peach Bowl that was like, I'm still shaking my head.
Exactly, Marvin Harrison.
There was, I think it was the one Fiesta Bowl. Skowski, the linebacker from Clemson, got tossed out.
And I remember, Joey Bosa, obviously.
Of course, I didn't count because we weren't there.
Put his head in the Notre Dame quarterback, put it in, and that was, okay. You led with the crown of his head and hit him in the chest, but I didn't think it was. He got tossed out of the game. But yeah, it just seems to have been working against Ohio State with that targeting rule.
You like it? You like the targeting rule? Any of it?
I think it's football, most of it, Coach. That's kind of the era I play.
Trying to make the game safer.
Yeah, they're trying.
It's if you're an Ohio State defensive coach, Paul, what are you preaching to your players, especially the secondary?
Well, that's the old Chris Spielman line. See what you're tackling. So keep the head up, look at what you're going at. But, yeah, that's tough. Skip, that's got to be tough because you want to be aggressive. You want to bring violence to try and jar the football loose. But nobody's going to argue against something in the mode of safety.
I agree. But my question remains is it different people that are reviewing it upstairs each week?
You realize you're not allowed to look in that room. You can't look behind the curtain.
Why I asked.
That door's always locked and closed, and there's a big sign that says, "Do not enter."
The Wizard of Oz.
So can't tell you.
All right. Next up, on the defense, we touched on it last segment. Coach Cooper, what's tougher to do, pitch a shutout or hold a team to under 100 yards?
Oh, I'd say to hold a team under 100 yards. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. They have 99 yards total offense, and we had about 600 or more.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree. That's probably tougher because even if a team gets shut out, they can go up and down the field and turn the ball over or miss field goals.
Kick a couple field goals, yeah.
6 points in 2 games, Jim. That's all this team's given up.
It's been incredible the way this team, and they held them to 28 yards rushing, which that's usually a good drive for a lot of teams. And they shut down the passing game. They only attempted 15 passes. And got a total of 71 yards in that passing game. So they had a few plays there, but they were dominant. Our defensive line obviously sets things up for our linebackers, our secondary. Even when we did lose Igbenos and he went out, Jermaine Matthews came in, and there was really no drop off. Which a lot of teams, you lose a starter, they're going to start attacking that guy, and there was no drop off at all. So secondary's been playing very strong. All that group is playing cohesive, right? Understand their roles and going out there and executing their assignments.
Always like to end with this. Rate the opponents. I mean, we thought Western would be a step up from Akron. Were they, and how do you see them faring this season?
I don't know that you can rate them because, as we found out, Skip, they were without their starting running back, who had 1,000 yards the year before. Second straight week without their leading returning receiver. They lost their center early in the game, and they were without their regular kicker, who got hurt the day before the game. So that wasn't the same offense, at least anyway, that gave Wisconsin a fight.
Yeah, and I would agree. I anticipated them to be a little bit better because I watched them on film against a Big Ten team, and they were winning that game going into the fourth quarter, 14-13, before Wisconsin got a turnover and then got another touchdown to win it 28-14. So, you thought you were going to see a little bit more resistance. But, like Paul said, they had some injuries, especially on that offense. They kind of hampered what they wanted to do a little bit. Certainly losing that center on the first or second play of the game hurt them a lot because, the other stuff you can kind of game plan. You knew Buckley wasn't going to play well. They had some other backs that were going to step in there. And Keyshawn King, ended up getting the majority of those carries out there. With Kenny Walmack, the wide receiver, being out, well, there's other options. I like that Sambucci kid. I thought he played very hard and made some plays. But, yeah, it was just very impressive by the defense. That doesn't happen very often to keep them, get a shutout in under 100 yards.
What do you think of Western, Coach, moving forward?
I'd take Western by a field goal.
Okay.
A close game.
Over Akron?
Over Akron, yeah. Over Akron.
Not a bad day.
If they have their kicker.
Overall for the Mid-American Conference. And some gave some Big Ten teams some scares. We'll discuss with our Big Ten breakdown as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it's time to root the Buckeyes on to victory. You gotta scream to cheer on your team. But when you want to chill, try the Buckeyes Frozen Cherry Float at Burger King. Sweet cherry flavor, mixed with smooth vanilla soft serve. Grab one or two and refresh today when you're rocking the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than the roomy new Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time, so you can take your travels even farther. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Book your room now. Toyota. Let's go places.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates with a fixed price plan from AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Third and goal, Texas at the Michigan 5-yard line. Ewers will line up in the pistol with Trey Weisner behind him. Three receivers bunched to the right. Weisner shifts to the left side of Ewers. Point of the snap. Rolls left. Looking. Fires for the end zone. It's caught. Matthew Golden. Touchdown, Texas. Right by the pylon, just across the goal line. Ewers rolling to the left. Hits Golden with the touchdown strike.
Craig Way on Learfield, Texas, comes into Michigan, rolls with a 31-12 victory.
You know, we kind of had a feeling that Quinn Ewers was eventually going to become a good quarterback someplace. Those two plays he had at Ohio State a couple of years ago really did him well to start. But, you know, getting Isaiah Bond as a transfer receiver from Alabama, a big plus for them. But it was surprising that Michigan's defense didn't make this a closer game.
Game was really over at halftime. I mean, it's 24-3 at half, and you know, Michigan came out and, you know, got another 3 points and then a touchdown went for two, but it was pretty much over at the halftime. I thought those guys, you know, Texas really put together a good game plan. Davis Warren at quarterback had a couple interceptions in that game. Not all his fault, but still, that's probably not what they had with J.J. McCarthy, and they're missing Blake Corum. You know, that 1-2 running attack that they had, and plus their whole offensive line is new, so. I don't know if that was to be expected to get blown out that bad, but, you know, they got some soul searching to do.
Yeah, Coach Cooper, fans always like to cheer when the rival loses, but this looks to be how good Texas might be, though.
I was wondering, I don't know if Texas is that good or Michigan is that bad this year, but maybe a combination of both. But I'm like, Jim, I agree with you. It was over at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, 31-3. Yeah. You know, late in the game ball.
Next to State College, where Penn State hosted Bowling Green.
Singleton's the running back. Singleton bounces to his left, through the hole, 35, 30, Singleton 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Penn State, game, set, and match. Nittany Lions with appropriately 4:09 to play.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network. This was a little close for comfort for Penn State, but they do enough to hold off BG 34-27.
You know, and Singleton had a big pass reception that ended up being a scoring play as well. So Penn State's continuing to have explosive plays on offense, which was kind of the criticism of their team last year. Just makes you wonder about defensively what happened, because the anticipation was that their defense would be pretty strong.
I had a feeling BG would play this team tough. You know, Connor Bazelak at quarterback, Scott Leffler, the head coach. You know, that they got a really good tight end.
Bazelak, where's it? Indiana?
Yep.
Okay.
They got, Fannin at tight end who caught 11 balls. So BG has some guys, and they're going to obviously compete there, well for the MAC championship. But, what did Penn State do? They went back to basics, man. They ran the ball 37 times for 234 yards. Aller just threw 13 of 20 throwing the football. A couple TDs, had that one interception in there. But, they just kind of went back to what they're going to do best, and that's run the football behind Singleton and Allen, both those guys over 100.
Coach Coop, you always say, don't let a team have some life, and that's exactly what Penn State did.
It was a close ball game at halftime, but
it's close in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But I don't know if Bowling Green is that good or Penn State is not as good as I thought they were.
Another too close for comfort game was in Eugene, where Oregon hosted Boise State. It came down to the end.
Bass on a snap. Dunn to hold. Snap good. Placement good. Kick on the way. It's good. Penalty flag down. Looked like the Broncos might have jumped.
Offside in the neutral zone.
Yep, that's it. It's over. Oregon has won their first game against Boise State in 4 tries in a most dramatic fashion.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Ducks pull it out. This is 2 weeks in a row, Paul, that they haven't looked great, but they beat Boise State 37-34.
And think about it. They get a kickoff return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown in the same game. If it's not for that, then they would have never had that first win over Boise State.
They're having trouble. They're having trouble with the state of Idaho trying to knock those guys out with Boise State. And, Idaho was close the first week and came down to a last-second field goal. But you're right. Whittington had that 99-yard kickoff return, and obviously a huge play, and they needed each and every one of those points to hang on and win that game by 3.
Game had to be played at Oregon.
Yes, it was. Yep. Yes, it was. To Champaign next, where Illinois hosted number 19, Kansas.
They line up a tight end in front of the tailback. Here is Altmaier, gives to the tailback, running it in. Touchdown! Touchdown, Illinois!
Brian Barnhart on Learfield. Caden Fagan ran that one in. Illinois with 10 fourth-quarter points to beat Kansas 23-17.
They also had a defensive score with a pick 6 in this game. So, Illinois kind of trying to play that football that you figured Brett Bielema would bring to him. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Kansas hand it to him last year at Kansas? So this was a nice turnaround game for them playing at home.
Memorial Stadium was sold out. That was the first time they had that. Yeah, in a long time. So that was good. So the crowd was in it. They leaned on their running game too. They ran 34 times just for 79 yards, but they kind of majored it. They wanted to keep the clocks moving, and quarterback not too bad, threw for 192. Altmaier, no TDs, no interceptions. So they took care of the football, and kept it, without turning it over. So. It was just one of those things where Illinois, fought back and was able to get to big play, so it gave them some momentum heading.
Good win for Illinois against a 19th-ranked Kansas football team.
Yep.
Next stop, Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes hosted Iowa State.
It will be a 54-yard field goal attempt for the redshirt freshman, Kyle Conradi, with 9 seconds to go from the right hash. Snaps good, holds good, kick on the way by Conradi, end over end, and it is good! Kyle Conradi hit a 54-yard field goal, and Iowa State leads it 20-19! Oh, my goodness!
John Walters on Learfield. Cyclones a big second half to nip Iowa, Paul, 2019.
Well, rivalry game, and that one's always early in the year, so that crazy things can happen in that. But, still, when you think about, bless you, Coach, 19 points for Iowa, that's an improvement. They got 40 last week, 19, so there's some good things happening offensively, but probably Jim looking for it to be more consistent.
Exactly, and especially in that second half. And, Caleb Johnson, I'm sorry, he was all over, ran for 187 yards on 25 carries. The running game was there. They just couldn't get the passing game synced up. And then at the end, that final drive, I think there's 40 seconds left to go. They hit Noel, and Noel got it out to, past the 50-yard line, and boom, they were able to get in field position. Just kind of one play where, defensive back lost the guy in coverage, and that changed the complexion of the game. But back to quarterback, I thought he played pretty decent, and, the guy that helped them win some games this year.
Jim, I've told you at practice, you better get you a field goal kicker.
Yeah.
That field goal kicker in pro or college football is going to win or lose you anywhere from 2 to 3 or 4 football games a year.
There was a conference game on Saturday. Maryland hosted Michigan State. This one as well went down to the wire.
It'll be a 37-yard field goal try. Holding will be Ryan Eckley. Caden Schickel, the snapper. Here we go. Back it comes a little bit of a high snap. Pulled down by Eckley, though. The kick is up, and it's good! Yeah. Spartans win! The Spartans win!
George Blaha, Spartan Network. There were questions about Michigan State. They improved to 2-0, winning at Maryland 27-24. Those questions were about all those transfers.
Well, and there's still some questions, Skip, because it's like a kid playing with a box of matches. Aiden Childs threw for 3 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions. So are you going to have a nice campfire? Or are you going to set the curtains on fire?
Which did you do?
Neither confirm nor deny. But an impressive win over a Maryland team that was playing very well. That's getting good quarterback play from Billy Edwards. But, Michigan State, all those transfers, we saw what happened a few years ago when they brought them all in. But, they were fortunate to get this win and made the plays, and especially Aiden Childs with some deep throws that got him in a good spot.
Yeah, 363 yards for Childs. He was throwing it all over the field. Billy Edwards, a quarterback from Maryland, had a couple nice plays, 2 touchdowns, had that 1 interception, obviously, that cost him. Roman Hemby running the football, just 12 for 35, so they couldn't really get that running game going like they wanted to for Maryland, and Michigan State had enough.
And Coach Cooper, any win on the road in the Big Ten, is big.
It's big, absolutely big, and a team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins a game.
Speaking of not knowing necessarily about a team, Friday night, Indiana hosted Western Illinois.
Tyler gets the snap and sweeps it out here on the near sideline, and it's a touchdown. And I think, yep, it was Charlie Becker, a freshman from Nashville, Tennessee. Charlie Becker gets the handoff from Tyler Cherry and takes it into the end zone, and Indiana scores their 76-point.
Don Fisher on Learfield. Hoosiers put up 77. Don's used to seeing a lot of 77s at Assembly Hall, but not at Memorial Stadium.
Not at the football stadium.
77-3 was your final.
A school record. And, Indiana's getting great play from Curtis Rourke, the quarterback who transferred from Ohio U. Here's the exciting thing for Indiana, Skip. Mm-hmm. They're going next week, their next game. I don't know if they have a bye this weekend or not. They're going to go play in the Rose Bowl against UCLA. It'll be the first time Indiana has played in the Rose Bowl since John Pont took them there in 1968.
It's the first time they've been 2-0 in a while, too. With some of the people they started. They also set a school record for the most yards, 701 yards for the game. So, hey, give Coach Signetti a little credit there for getting things worked out.
All right, real quickly, Duke beats Northwestern in double OT. SC wins. Minnesota, Rutgers, Washington, Wisconsin, and Nebraska all win. This week, as far as things to keep an eye on, Wisconsin will host Alabama. Then you got Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State. As we know, anything can happen in those rivalry
Why
games.
Couldn't they make that Wisconsin-Alabama game a night game in Madison? Did you think those Tide fans would love a night game in Madison?
That's give them credit for coming north, though.
No question.
No doubt about it. All right, join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on Bally Sports Ohio. Coach Day is scheduled to join us next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Ohio State defeats Western Michigan 56-0 on Saturday. We're joined for a few minutes now by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, you build this as an improvement week. From a fan's perspective, things look pretty good, but what areas are you seeing as areas to improve on and work this week for your football team?
Well, I look at it like this, just about every team across the country is playing a game this week, and we're only into week 3. And each week, teams improve, and we have to improve as well. So, typically when you look at a bye week, it's to, get healthy and get your rest and, mentally, physically across the board. We're not there. We just played 2 games, and, we want to stay in our rhythm of a game week the best we can, and we certainly have a lot to work on.
Coach, I noticed your champions of the week are your offense, defense, special teams, Ty Hamilton, Lorenzo Stiles, and Quinshawn Junkins. We saw what Junkins did. What did you see out of those other 2 guys that allowed them to be the champions?
Well, Ty Hamilton really had a challenge. Their center was a guy that was a projected draft pick, and as we looked at the film, certainly that Wisconsin game, we had a lot of respect for him coming into the game, and so it was a challenge for Ty going into the game, and he kind of got after him early on and then, kind of took it from there. It was very disruptive, had a sack, a couple TFLs. And so we thought he played very, very well. Lorenzo Stiles, made a really nice play on kickoff. He had 22 total plays on special teams. He was playing fast. And so, anytime you're having production like that, our player of the week on special teams the week before was Brandon Ennis. You started to see him get more involved with the offense. When you're having an impact on special teams, the next step is to have an impact on your side of the ball, and that'll happen with Lorenzo. He's earned that right.
Coach, you talked about after the game, the play that you singled out from Will Howard was where he avoided a potential sack and then had a throwaway to avoid negative yardage. Is that still looking for a guy, even with all of the football he's played, to keep sharpening his decision-making skills?
Well, I think we have to, be realistic, in analyzing a game like what happened on Saturday, and recognize the things that in a matchup game, it can be 1 play or 2 plays that decide that game. And, there's a breakdown of protection, which can happen. But when that does happen, we have to be smart and throw that ball away and live to see another play. We can't take the sack. He avoided the sack, took care of the ball, threw it away, and that could be the difference in a game. Certainly if we're in a situation where, we want to stay in field goal range. But then that was a first down play, and we were able to get into the end zone. So those are the situations that we're going to make sure we're talking about all week.
Coach, what's your schedule this week from a practice standpoint? Go back and work a lot on fundamentals?
Yeah, we came in yesterday and went through the film, put that to bed, and then we'll have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice where, like you said, we'll be working on fundamentals. Each coach has got to really, give some feedback to each of their players on what he feels like they need to improve on individually and then as a unit. And so, we obviously won't practice on Friday or Saturday. We'll be able to rest a little bit, and then we'll get right back into it on Sunday.
Coach, you had 80 players get in the game. I'm sure everybody's excited when they got back to the facility on Sunday to watch the film because, if you get a chance to play in a game, you want to see yourself film, you want to evaluate it, and then, hear what the coaches have to say about your performance. And when you can get that many players in there excited, that makes this whole week of practice that much more fun.
Yeah, everybody's engaged. And I felt, I think we talked about this on Thursday, I felt like we had a good week of practice. And it was everybody involved. It was the guys who were on the scout team, and quite a few guys who were on the scout team played in the game. And it was ones versus twos, good on good. It was just across the board. It was a good week of practice. And if we can continue to do that, then we'll have a chance. But I think it was a great example of when Denzel was taken out of the game. Jermaine Matthews had to go right in. I mean, these are the types of things that are going to happen this season, and so depth is important, like we talked about. So we'll make sure that we keep hammering that with the guys and keep giving them opportunities when appropriate.
Coach, to us lay people, it seems as though there have been enough instances of guys blocking downfield or blocking away from the football. Is that a standard that we know it's been a high standard set? But through 2 games, can you see guys are really grabbing a hold of that?
Well, across the board, I got to say that the effort was exceptional on Saturday, and we got to continue that. It has to be who we are. We want to be the hardest playing team in the country, and some of the efforts were phenomenal on the perimeter. Guys just sprinting down the field, finishing downfield. I mean, the one that got called back on Quinshawn, there was about 5 guys who are only about 10 to 15 yards behind Quinshawn sprinting. Josh Fryer, Brandon Ennis, Bryson Rogers. I mean, they were just giving unbelievable effort on that play in particular. But it's the same thing on defense. Guys were flying around, and that has to be our identity as we move forward. I mean, it's just a start, but that's what we want right there is the effort, and a big part of that is the perimeter blocking.
Coach, 21-0 the first quarter, 35-0 halftime. Played 80 players, nobody got hurt. I'd say that was a pretty good day.
Yeah, well, I felt like we applied pressure right from the jump, and that's what we wanted to do. We saw what was going on all day. Sitting around that hotel, it's a long day, and you see some of these games going on, and we don't want to leave any doubt. We want to make sure that we start right from the jump, have a fast start. We felt like we started slow the week before, but I like the way we continued to play in the second half. It didn't matter who was in the game. Nobody was looking up at the score. We played every single play all the way to the end, and it's good for the team. It's healthy for the team, and so after watching the film, there's still a lot to get better at for sure. But the effort was there, the energy was there, the passion was there, and we applied pressure, across the board.
You had a great week of practice last week, getting them ready too.
Yeah, that was it. And I talked to the guys about that on Sunday. If we practice that way, if we're sharp, if we're crisp, if we're getting each other better, and we're giving great effort in practice, then it's going to translate to the game. I think the guys saw that, so we got to keep building on this and keep the rhythm.
Coach, you went up tempo, man. You scored on 2 4-play drives. You had 1 5-play drive. You had 3 6-play drives, and then in the third quarter you had an 8-play drive. But you were scoring fast, and it's got to be a lot of fun to again review that in film and see the players' emotions when they come off the field after that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and watching the film was fun. It was. I mean, guys were getting in the end zone and celebrating together. Guys on defense celebrating with each other after big plays, and the emotion was there. Guys are playing with passion, and that's the way the game's supposed to be played. But we felt like in this game, watching the Wisconsin game, there wasn't a lot of possessions. I think both teams were in the 50s in terms of plays, and we didn't want that to happen in this game. So we decided to, talking to Chip and the offensive staff, that we're going to play a little faster. And I felt like that was the right thing to do. And we'll decide based on game plan what the right tempo is, and play complementary football.
Coach Ryan Day, have a great week. It's improvement week on the radio too. We got Paul and Jim running sprints after the show. Okay,
I got it.
There you go.
All right, coaches. All right,
I'm glad you didn't include me in that.
Coach Cooper, blow the whistle. Coach's comments are presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Up next, we will hit the Red Zone with Tim May of Letterman Row as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through September 30th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined for a few minutes now by Tim May of Letterman Row. Ohio State shuts out Western Michigan 56-0. And Tim, understanding who they've played, but still, from your chair, how impressive does this Ohio State defense look right now?
Quite impressive, because they've dominated basically from maybe the start of the second quarter of the opener on, against Akron on. I mean, they've just flat dominated is the best way of putting it. Played exactly the way they should play and looked exactly the way they should look against an inferior or not as good as opponent. And that's where you always judge it is, yeah, you're playing somebody you should beat, but do you beat those people the way you should beat them? And definitely Ohio State can check that box the first 2 weeks, but clearly last week it was another step up both offensively and defensively.
Tim, before the season started, there was a lot of discussion, maybe not from people necessarily count, but a lot of discussion that Will Howard didn't need to be exceptional. Have you seen the right combination through just 2 games of him showing the flashes of what he can do, but also how he's been able to just kind of keep the car out of the ditch?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing more than that. He's not a tow truck. He's worthy of having his hands on the steering wheel of this Ferrari of an offense, and in my opinion, and just his decision making. In my opinion, he's had one really bad decision, and that was impromptu when he tried to make that lateral or whatever that was against Akron there late in the first half. Otherwise, he hadn't seen every necessarily open pass he could have thrown. I mean, I can name you a couple in the Akron game, but it was more or less going on where the play was supposed to go. But since then, I saw on Saturday night just a guy in charge. I wrote a story about him earlier in the week about in the second half against Akron, how he just out there on the field, Ryan Day, did you see a guy in charge, a veteran running that team? And, basically Ryan said, in so many words, yes. And then on Saturday night, you definitely saw that. But you saw a guy, once again, but in better detail, that run he had for a touchdown around right end, you saw those two Western Michigan DBs underestimate how fast he was. And that just shows you, and as he pointed out, as Will Howard pointed out, really, he said, to be honest, running for a touchdown feels better than even throwing for one. So, yeah, I mean, you're seeing a guy, a grown-up man out there playing quarterback for height, making, for the most part, really good decisions, both in the run game and the pass game.
Tim, we've both been watching Ohio State football 40-plus years, and I can't recall a better wide receiver than Jeremiah Smith in the first two games as a true freshman in the history of those last 40-some years. How about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, man, your senior year was the freshman year of Chris Carter in 1984, and obviously he didn't start for several games, right? And then I think the Purdue game, he really, even though y'all lost that game, it became obvious this guy needs to be on the field a heck of a lot more. Whereas Jeremiah Smith, I think when they saw him as a junior in high school, they said, this guy needs to be on the field from the first play, but we got to couch it, make sure people don't get over eager to see this guy, which was kind of a folly by Ryan Day because everybody knew how good this guy was. And, he's phenomenal, Jim, because what he showed you on Saturday night was I told you what I've admired him about is the way he can put himself between the ball and the defender when he goes up for passes. He runs really good routes. But, oh, my goodness, when he turned on the jets, he has some jets. And that's what really – he's just everything you need from a wide receiver, a game breaker, a possession guy, not afraid to go over the middle, everything you want in a receiver. And it's only going to get better from here. As I said to Will Howard as he was leaving the interviews the other day, I said, push comes to shove, always look for number 4, right? And he smiled.
Hey, Tim, I think Coach Kelly's got a good job this year calling plays. You look out there and with the wide receivers we got and running backs we got, you look out there and see single coverage, you throw the football. If they're double covering those wide outs, you run the ball. I don't know if I've seen a team with 2 or even 3 better running backs. And certainly I haven't seen a team with more good wide receivers than we got this year.
As I wrote on Sunday after the game, early in the morning, that so that's Quinshon Judkins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he looked different. I mean, he was running with a purpose, with speed. Like on one of his touchdown runs, one of his 2 23-yard touchdown runs, it was almost like the defenders were afraid to stick their arms in the spokes as he went by. And but yes, you're exactly right. Travion, we all know, has that breakaway home run ability, and James Peoples. But Coach Cooper, I thought what stood out too, the offensive line took control of that game from the get-go. Both lines for Ohio State should have taken control, and they did. And they did, like I said earlier, like they should. And it really showed. And there were places for Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson to run, sometimes wide open spaces.
I think our offensive line's a little better than people think they are.
Oh, I think it's coming on. But you got to remember, the 3 guys in the middle weren't playing for Ohio State a year ago. Seth McLaughlin at center, Sierveld at left guard, and Tigger Shabola at right guard. But, man, they've had 2 games now together, and those are, Sierveld, obviously, you got to figure is going to get replaced by Donovan Jackson when he returns, probably against Marshall. But man, they quietly built some depth there on that offensive line. I thought it came to fruition on Saturday night.
Tim May, Letterman Row. Tim, we always appreciate your insight. We'll chat again next week, okay?
It is always a pleasure. You know that, even when you have Coach Cooper on there.
No doubt when Coach Cooper's in with us. We have another hour with Coach Cooper along with Paul and Jim. Up next, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award. Our American Dairy Association Mid-East top high school performances. Great week in high school football across the state of Ohio. We'll tell you about that. We'll hit the sidelines this week. Let's hear some post-game comments after Ohio State's win over Western Michigan. Our Insiders Access tonight, Austin Ward from Rivals will stop by. That and more, hour number 2 of Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, where you rule, here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at donatos.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
I'm proud to play for The Ohio State University. I remember earning my first Buckeye sticker on my helmet. It gave me pride, it gave me energy, and gave me another reason to win. To be a Buckeye football player like me, Emeka Ibuka, is to know I am part of a legacy. Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, and as a 72-year-old brand, they know a thing or two about legacies. To celebrate these shared legacies, Weber launched an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State Premium Kettle Grill, inspired by our iconic helmets. Get yours at a local Ohio retailers.
At Bob's Discount Furniture, when you find a complete dining set that seats 6 and comes with an extendable leaf for only $5.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a sofa that doubles as a chaise, and a bed, and storage like my Playscape for only $9.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a queen mattress with world-famous Bobapedic memory foam and an 18-year warranty like my Treasure for only $7.99.
Oh my, Bob.
Well, there's only one thing to say. Oh my, Bob. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening, Buddy Wells. After beating Western Michigan 56-0 and moving to 2-0 on the young season, Ohio State will have the first of their 2 bye weeks this coming Saturday. And then next weekend, on the 21st, the Buckeyes will host Marshall at Ohio Stadium. We learned today that one will be a high noon kickoff at the Shoe. It was a tough week 1 for the 2 Ohio NFL teams yesterday afternoon. In Cincinnati, the Bengals offense struggled to get anything going as they lost to the Patriots 16-10. And in Cleveland, the Cowboys defense led the way in their 33-7 20-17 win over the Browns. Looking ahead to this weekend, the Browns are on the road against the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and the Bengals will visit the Chiefs in Kansas City. Week 1 of the NFL season concludes tonight in San Francisco, where the 49ers host the Jets. Kickoff is at 8:15. And in baseball, the Reds face the Braves in Atlanta tonight, and the Guardians play the first of 3 against the White Sox in Chicago. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And be sure to subscribe to both. Buckeyes are idle this week. They will host Marshall a week from Saturday. More on that coming up. But right now, it's time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation each week of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is junior quarterback Jake Laverty from Kirtland High School. Friday night, Laverty rushed for 150 yards. He threw the go-ahead touchdown pass and then ran in the winning two-point conversion as Kirtland outlasted Perry 22-21 in 3 overtimes. Great football game up there in Northeast Ohio. The Hornets are coached by Tiger Laverty, Jake's dad. They're 3-0 and will host Independence Friday night. Again, congratulations to Jake Laverty from Kirtland High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
There was some weather to be dealt with in certain parts of the state on Friday night. Impacted some games a little bit. Some was even moved to Saturday morning because there was just so much lightning in the area. But everybody else pretty much got their stuff in, and some great performances.
Yeah, I got some good ones here, Skip. Kenston wide receiver Tamir Cardona had 4 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown, and also had an 82-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as Kenston defeated Chagrin Falls 37-14.
Elder linebacker Joey DiTilio had 2 interceptions, 1 for a pick 6, recovered a fumble, and had 5 tackles as Elder defeated Springboro 30-6.
Now, I got a running back out of Pick North, guys, that carried it 31 times for 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also added an 80-yard touchdown reception as Pick North defeated Pick Central 38-27.
Yeah, Michael Taylor had a heck of a game there. Harrison defensive lineman Logan White led his team with 9 tackles, including 3.5 sacks. 3.5 sacks in Harrison's 49-19 win over Indian Hill.
Harvey running back Sean Alston, 29 carries, 285 yards, and all 3 of his team's touchdowns as Harvey defeated Ashtabula Edgewood 22-13.
How about this? St. X quarterback Chase Herbstreit. How about that?
Yeah.
19 out of 31 yards passing for 263 yards and 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 2 more scores. St. X defeated Indianapolis Cathedral 35-31.
You knew his dad. He was your first recruit when you came here to Ohio State.
Absolutely.
He had a hand in every score there. Olentangy Liberty quarterback Andrew Leonard was 14 of 22 passing for 264 yards. and a pair of touchdowns on Liberty's 31 win over Gahanna.
Fairfield running back Tyler George, 21 carries, 193 yards, and 4 touchdowns, including a 94-yarder, as Fairfield blew out Sycamore 56-13.
Columbus West running back Jamar Johnson had combined 180 yards, all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns as West defeated Motorsport 47-12.
I got a good one here. Villa Angela St. Joseph running back Lamar Bo Jackson rushed for 9 times, 198 yards, and 3 touchdowns as Villa Angela St. Joe's blanked Mansfield Senior. Wow, 60-0.
Wyoming running back Joel Hancock, 16 carries, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns in the Wyoming Cowboys 45-13 win over Bethel Tate.
Big Walnut running back Nolan Virley ran for 167 yards, a pair of touchdowns. The Big Walnuts defeated Groveport 24-13.
That's a big win for them as Groveport's first loss of the season. We'll begin our whip around the state. Northeast Ohio to Carroll County. Here's WJER's Bill Hammerstrom.
Malvern senior quarterback Jared Witherow threw 3 touchdowns and rushed for 1 more as the Hornets defeated the Harrison Central Huskies 38-28 on Friday. The 6'4" signal caller completed 15 of 23 passes for 242 yards. All 3 of those scores went to senior teammate Rodney Smith, who had 8 catches for 159 yards. Malvern now welcomes Tusky Valley on Friday for a cross-division IVC matchup. For WJER in Dover, New Philadelphia, I'm Bill Hammerstrom.
All right, Bill, into Muskingum County. Nice story here from WHIZ's David Kinder.
After 2 years as the starting quarterback at Philo, Talon Preston made the switch to running back this offseason, and the move paid off in Friday's win over Maysville. Preston ran the ball 22 times for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. He added an interception on defense as the Philo Electrics picked up their first win of the year, beating Maysville 27-17. Philo is in Warsaw this week to play Riverview. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, I'm David Kinder.
Licking County, our next stop, and WMBO's Tyler Mathias.
The Utica Redskins picked up their first win of the season on Friday night, knocking off the Fredericktown Freddies on the road 18-15. Led by quarterback Hayden Piper's 3 touchdowns. Piper ran for 101 yards and also completed 14 of 18 passes for 118 yards. He had touchdown runs of 7 yards and also a touchdown run of 1 yard in the win for the Utica Redskins. Utica plays at unbeaten Ridgewood this upcoming Friday. Reporting from WMBO and WQIO out of Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
Southwest to Washington County next, in WMOA's Andy Rex.
Guys, Fort Fry senior running back Clayton Miller exploded for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Cadets took down perennial West Virginia power Wheeling Central Catholic 38-19 Friday night. Miller had scoring runs of 65, 24, and 3 yards, and a non-scoring jaunt of 75 yards on his 18 carries. Fort Fry moves to 2-1 on the year and takes on Cross River rival Waterford this Friday night in Beverly. From WMOA in Marietta, I'm Andy Rex.
Southern Ohio, Scioto County. Big night there as we hear from WNXT's Mark Williams.
The Portsmouth West Senators picked up their first win of the 2024 season on Friday night with a 27-21 victory on the road at Hillsboro. West senior running back Mason Parker posted a game for the ages with 47 carries, 311 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns. He also registered 9 tackles and 1 TFL on defense. The West Senators will play at home for the first time this season next Friday against Chillicothe. Mark Williams, WNXT Radio, Portsmouth.
47 carries. I mean, this workhorse.
Wow, that's a job.
47 carries.
Half a year. Half a season.
Circle up to Allen County. Nice evening there as we welcome in WIMA's Todd Walker.
Lima Central Catholic defeated Cary 25-7 Saturday night at Spartan Stadium, and Matt Quatman accounted for all 4 Lima Central Catholic touchdowns. He had a touchdown receiving, 2 rushing, and 1 on an interception return. On the night, Quatman rushed 24 times for 176 yards and 2 scores. The T-Birds are now 2-1. They're at 2-1 Allen East this Friday as they return to the Northwest Conference after an 11-year absence. Reporting for 1150 WIMA in Lima, this is Todd Walker.
All right, Todd, thanks to you and all of the affiliate stations for getting those reports in. It's great to hear all the nice performances each week all across the state of Ohio. Home teams, Mr. Keels.
Moeller beat East Central, so the Crusaders remain undefeated.
Jim?
St. Henry lost to Marion Local, who won their 51st straight ball game.
They don't lose very many.
No. Six away from the record.
You make it to a game this weekend?
I did not go to a game, but Up Arlington keeps winning.
How about the Hawks?
The Hartley, they rebounded 49-23 over Dayton Chaminade Julienne. They play at Watkins Memorial. It's a step up as far as school size for them coming up this week. So
all right,
we'll see how they do coming up this Friday night. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder that chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein to fuel everyone, including Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/builtlikeabuckeye to learn more. One surprise for sure in the top 25. A few others got scared. We'll discuss after further review as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it's time to root the Buckeyes on to victory. You gotta scream to cheer on your team. But when you want to chill, try the Buckeyes Frozen Cherry Float at Burger King. Sweet cherry flavor, mixed with smooth vanilla soft serve. Grab 1 or 2 and refresh today when you're rocking the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family, like the Toyota Truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at Donatos.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. The Foundation's operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play, so
under further review.
After further review.
At the right hash near side, Foley will hold from the snap from half field for 35. Snap, hold, kick is up. The kick is good! Good! NIU takes the lead with 31 seconds left. NIU 16, Notre Dame 14. Not over yet.
No.
5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country. NIU 16, Notre Dame 14.
Andy Garcia, Northern Illinois Radio. This is a stunner. Notre Dame falls to the Huskies there. Again, as he said, 16-14.
You know, Northern Illinois had some big wins when Bill Mallory was the coach there. They had some big wins when Cherry Pettibone was the coach there. But this is gigantic. And certainly when you think about how the whole deal works with Notre Dame now, and a lot of people are saying, okay, does this keep them possibly out of the playoffs? And their schedule looks pretty manageable. Certainly it looked like before Saturday, too, but up until they get to the end of the year and they play USC. But here's where Notre Dame has to be concerned. No conference championship game to get that additional data point. And depending on what happens with other people around the country, this is the kind of loss that could keep them without a chance to play for a conference championship out of the playoff.
Yeah, what a win for the Huskies. That team's going to get recognized for the 5th year, 10th year, 20th year reunions forever. They'll be coming back here with that big upset win. But, hey, Notre Dame had 2 interceptions in that ball game. The Huskies had the ball 9 more minutes than them. They kind of just, strangled them, and Notre Dame wasn't able to fight back. But credit goes to the Huskies to find a way to win it there and right at the end of the game.
I don't know if that field goal kicker has any more eligibility left, but if I'm a coach, I'd probably be trying to recruit him.
To Tuscaloosa, where number 4 Alabama got all they wanted from South Florida.
Haynes, the running back, to the right. Milroe gets the snap, trying to avoid the rush. Steps forward, fires the pass. Catch is made. Breaking a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown. Kobe Prentice, the Calera native, adds to the Bama lead. It's a 7-point advantage with the extra point pending.
Chris Stewart's on Learfield. Don't let this final score
It is misleading.
Just kind of tease you a little bit. It was tight for most of the game, but Bama pulls away. They beat South Florida 42-16.
Similar to last year. They struggled to beat South Florida. But, Jalen Milroe has really, really come into his own as a quarterback.
Alabama overcame 3 turnovers and 13 penalties to win that ball game. So that slowed them up early, but big fourth quarter put it away.
They lost their head coach. They lost a bunch of really, really good players. They're playing a little better than I thought they would.
Another close call, this one in Norman, where Oklahoma hosted Houston.
Snead the back. On the goal line, Donovan Smith takes the shotgun snap, hands to Snead, met at the goal line, dropped to the end zone. It is a safety! It's a safety! Grayson Halton! Wow!
Toby Rowland on Learfield. Sooners squeak past Houston 16-12.
Just read a quote not too long ago from Brent Venables. The Oklahoma coach said they deserve to lose. But this is a kind of a game, as scary as it might have been for the Sooners, that it probably toughens them up for somewhere down the year in a tough game.
They gave up 3 sacks, punted 8 times in that ball game. It's tough to win when you're punting the football away all the time, but they hung on and, got the all-important victory.
It's amazing, Coach Cooper, the close calls by a lot of these teams this past Saturday.
With this portal, you don't know how good these teams are going to be early in the year.
Another tight one there in the state to Stillwater, where Oklahoma State hosted Arkansas.
2 wide left, 1 right from the shotgun. Gordon to Bowman's left. 1st and 10 at the Arkansas 12 in double overtime. Here's a quick toss. It's Gordon running left. Gordon to the 10. Gordon to the 5. Bowling toward the end zone. He's in. Pistols firing. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. Ollie Gordon.
Dave Hunziker on Learfield. In 2 overtimes, Oklahoma State gets the win there, 39-31 over Arkansas.
And they thought they had it won at the end of the regulation with a field goal, but then Arkansas is able to get a last-second field goal to send it to overtime. Just never worked.
I think both teams missed the game-winning field goals, too, before that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, does this count as an SEC game?
I guess.
Well, I saw the Coach Pittman said that this is not an SEC.
Oklahoma State's still in the Big 12.
Okay, Big 12. Okay,
I know it's hard to keep track.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly. You're right.
It may in a couple of years. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what Arkansas was saying. This is not an SEC loss. You know, they still got that to fight for. But I'm starting to warm up to Mike Gundy. You know, I like some of his post-game comments.
He's out there. From close call to blowout, Miami hosted Florida A&M.
Officially from midfield. Ward to throw wide open down the middle. It's Restrepo. He'll walk into the end zone for a Miami touchdown. 50 yards from Ward to Restrepo. And the Hurricanes lead it 13-0. A quick strike. Ward to Restrepo. And Miami jumps in front 13-0 on the 50-yard touchdown.
Joe Zagacki, Hurricane Network, Miami big over Florida A&M 56-9.
Just part of what made Cam Ward so attractive in the recruiting for somebody out of the transfer portal based on what he did at Washington State.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty good running back, too, in that Damian Martinez. He kind of balanced things out for him. You know, they're starting to put things together down there at the U.
And Coach Cooper, again, a lot of people wondering if this is Miami. Are they back to where they were? I don't know if you want to go that far, but at least they're showing improvement.
They're not ever going to be as good as they were there in the late 80s and mid 90s.
You can't go there.
Yeah.
202.
Yeah.
Next is Syracuse as they hosted number 23 Georgia Tech.
Gadsden and Hatcher to the right. There's the snap. McCord looks. 3-man rush. McCord throws. Fastball near the goal line. Catch made. Diving in. Should be a touchdown for McCord. And it is. It's the second of the day for OG.
Matt Park on Learfield. Orange 2-0. They beat Tech 31-28.
And Kyle McCord has had 2 outstanding games for the Orange. And let's not forget, this is a guy that has a year plus of experience, and a lot of that's showing right now.
No, I agree. That extra year that he had here at Ohio State, he grew up. Now he's back near his hometown and really playing good football. And I think he's got 8 touchdowns in 2 ball games. That's probably leading the nation.
And remember, this is a Georgia Tech team that was the toast of the town after they beat Florida State over in Ireland.
That's what I mean. It's hard to kind of put a gauge on how good some of these teams are, Coach Cooper. I mean, Tech got in the polls because they beat Florida State, and then Florida State is like, what's going on here?
We know a lot more about them all in a couple of weeks.
Final stop, Clemson was probably trying to make a statement following their Week 1 losses. They hosted Appalachian State.
Handoff Maffa. Maffa left side. First down and more. Across to the 20, 25, 30. 35, 40. Across midfield. At the 30. He's at the 25, the 20. Into the end zone goes Philip Maffa.
Don Munson, Clemson Network, big bounce-back win for them. They beat App State 66-20.
And 35 of those points coming in the first quarter, so it's probably pretty much cruise control.
It looked like 56 in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, Moff had 10 carries for 118 yards, but 83 came on 1 play. Yeah. You know, you think he'd have a little bit more after all of that, but, yeah, it's a good bounce-back win for Clemson.
Yeah, and Dabo was taking a lot of hits nationally. I mean, they lost to Georgia, for goodness sake. I mean, it's like, you know, but they responded big time, no doubt. This week, only 2 games involving teams in the top 25. Arizona at Kansas State, Boston College, and Missouri. And I think we touched on it earlier. Missouri is one of those teams where are they really good? They look good, but they haven't really played anybody yet. Don't know that they're necessarily going to play anybody in BC.
I know, and they brought some key people back from that team last year. But remember, they lost their defensive coordinator, too. He's at LSU, I believe. So.
Drinkowitz is still there, though, and they're drinking his coffee right now.
Yes,
they're drinking his, whatever he's selling, they're drinking it. And I heard a quote by him says, "Hey, I'm getting recognized just driving around now." And he's not used to that, but that's a good thing.
Coach Cooper, how many stops did you make during your career? How many different places were you at?
Oh, my goodness. Oregon State, UCLA, Kansas, Kentucky, Tulsa, Arizona State.
Ohio State,
yeah.
7? I would have guessed over the net.
So did you put any pictures up on the wall, or did you just use tape? No nails.
Some of those places I couldn't get out of town quick enough, I'll tell you.
More reactions from the sidelines after Ohio State's 56-0 win Saturday over Western Michigan as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelight repair, Safelight replace.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. I remember seeing that CareSource heart around town and just knowing they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. And that means the world to so many children today. My name is Cardale Jones, and I was a CareSource kid.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Jim, Coach Day calls this improvement week. Besides that, looking to improve, anybody need to get healthy?
Well, Cody Simon was back, and that was good to see. He ended up with 3 tackles in the ball game and a sack. And, obviously he's the guy that has the green dot on his helmet. He's talking to the coaches, so he got everybody lined up. I think it was a big plus to get him back in that ball game. And obviously the defense pitched a shutout in his first game back. Donovan Jackson, boy, he was frothing. He wanted to go. He wanted to play. He practiced hard all during the week, but they want to try to be smart, with him and just say, hey, let's get everything, get you 100%. You get this bye week, get you an extra 2 weeks before you have to play, Marshall. So I'm almost 100% sure, unless he has some kind of setback, he'll be out there against the Thundering Herd.
Our 2 Deep report was presented by Elk and Elk. Serious fans of Ohio State athletics, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Buckeyes.
For Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
Again, Ohio State with a shutout win over Western Michigan as we hit the sidelines. Clay Hall with a couple of key contributors on that Buckeye defense postgame.
With Jack Sawyer, I heard you come through here. Yeah, finally a shutout. Yeah. How good does that feel?
That feels good. That's just kind of been our mantra all
all off season. These guys, no one can score on us. Has been our mentality. You know what I mean? We want to win games on defense, and there's really no better way to do that than to pitch a shutout.
How big a morale builder is this for a team when everybody gets to contribute?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's tough sometimes for young guys when they're not really playing that much to kind of be bought in. And games like this early in the season are really what make guys get bought in when they experience what it's like to get on the field and play. And it makes them more locked in on the sidelines, throughout the season. So it's huge. It's good to see the young guys get to make plays too for the first time in the shoe.
I think you played 4 quarterbacks, 5 tight ends, 2 Aussie punters got in the game. Yep. What does win number 2 do for you?
It's definitely a good stepping stone to where we want to go, and I think that we're going to continue on what we're doing right now and just keep building. We're excited to go into bye week on a shutout.
You got the shutout. You also held them to under 100 yards.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that's ever been done, but it's really exciting. It's cool watching something you worked for the last 3 years, and we all decided to come back on defense, and we had a mission in mind to be the best defense ever to play here, and we just see stuff like that, and it's really cool.
Offense isn't bad either, over 600 total yards.
Yeah, our offense happens to be pretty damn good as well, so it's fun when we're all clicking on the same cylinder like that. So it's been fun, and we're really excited to keep moving forward.
Do you wish you were playing a game next week?
Oh, of course. It's tough when you're in season to see other teams playing, being at home, but it's good. I think it's going to be good to get off our feet early on and kind of regroup again and get better for the week 3 game.
With Cody Simons playing his first ball game of the season, how good did it feel to be out there?
It felt amazing. I mean, it really just getting to enjoy the time with my teammates and my brothers out there. There's nothing better. Really, it's nothing better out here.
The defense was overwhelming. It held them to under 100 yards, shutout. How much better can it be?
Our main thing is that our goal is not to win this game. We know what the end goal in mind is to win it all. So this is just another stepping stone, and for us, we just want to keep getting better every week. We're going to be on the rise.
When you see a guy, second team or a third teamer play tonight, what does that do for camaraderie, morale?
Man, it's really gratifying because, they put all the work in too. Like the starters, they put in work in, but those young guys, they're working really hard. It's all new to them, so they're really fighting to try to get that extra inch, and they're doing really well out there.
How much better can you be? Where do you need to improve on defense?
Well, there's always areas. We're going to get on the film really tonight and see what we need to do, and then get back and get our improvement, and then we'll be back for next in 2 weeks.
I just noticed Lorenzo Styles Jr. got in today. Selfless player, was a starter at Notre Dame, kind of working his way back. What did it mean maybe for him to make a contribution?
He's a baller. He's been a baller too. We know that, and coaches know that too. He's just plays his role, and I commend him a lot because I've done that too, and I understand how it can be a little bit a little frustrating maybe, but he does it really well. He's a great player, and we love him out there.
Again, we knew Ohio State defensively would be pretty good coming into the season, Paul, with so many returnees and the new guys that came in. Did you expect this good, though?
I'm not sure, Skip, because we really didn't know. And the unknown part, too, is with the opponent. Akron, when their quarterback got hurt, that pretty much retarded what they were going to try and do. Western Michigan, we talked earlier about how they were minus what would have been their starting rusher, their best receiver not playing. But hard to think that, a shutout, only 2 field goals through the course of 2 weeks, that's probably better than what anybody would have thought.
Well, there wasn't very many question marks with his defense even to start. And then you bring in a guy like Caleb Downs, the safety, to kind of get everybody locked up, lined up back there, and he's been playing fantastic, so far. Came in there and, the leg sweep was a really great tackle. That defensive line is going to lead this team. Yeah, exactly. The defensive line is going to lead this team, and they have. They're literally 12 deep or at least 10 deep, 3 deep at defensive ends, probably 4 or 5 deep at defensive tackles. All those guys can play and contribute, and that's just going to wear out on offense and offensive line because, I would hate to have to prepare for 6 defensive ends of play. It's hard enough to get ready for 1 or 2. But then you got to watch film on 6 guys, and they're going to play them all.
Coach Cooper, I can list them off. What was your best defense? What year was your best defense here at Ohio State? You had some good ones. Everybody wants to talk offense, but you had some good defenses.
Silver Bullets.
What year? Does any year stand out?
96? Silver Bullets, 96. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Antoine Winfield. Rob Kelly.
Was that the law firm of Vrabel, Finkus, and
Finkus, absolutely. Ryan Miller.
Yeah.
Luke Fickle. Yeah.
Very good ones back in the day, no doubt about it. Up next, we will get our Insider's Access Report. Austin Ward of Rivals will join the Buckeye Roundtable after this.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by Austin Ward, Rivals.com, dotting the I's in the podcast in Austin, Ohio State with the shutout victory over Western Michigan on Saturday. We touched on it with the fellas here just a minute ago. Wanted to get your thoughts. We knew Ohio State's defense would be pretty good coming in with so many returnees and what they had coming in via the transfer portal, but did you expect them to be this good this early?
Yes and no. I thought that Ohio State had all the makings to be the number one defense in the country, one of the better defensive outfits that I've seen in my time covering Ohio State as well. The potential was there, but to go through two games and not give up a touchdown, it's hard to expect that. Been 5 years since the Buckeyes had shut out anybody, 5 years to the day since the win over Cincinnati. So those don't come along every day. So I think the way that they've started statistically is probably even better than I anticipated that it would be through 2 weeks, 2 games. But to think that I'm surprised that they're actually capable of that, I'd have to say probably not, Skip.
Hey, Austin, we had Coach Day before the first game Akron on Thursday talking about the importance of the huddle and how he likes the huddle and all that stuff, and that lasted about a quarter and a half, and then they started going up-tempo, and, they huddled maybe a few times this past game, but, what they're doing with the RPOs and, a lot of play action passes and then the little runouts by the quarterback. You see him moving the pocket a little bit, taking a fake, faking it one way to a receiver and then throwing it downfield like he did to Jeremiah Smith. It's a little bit different what offensively Chip Kelly than what it looked like last year.
Yeah, and I think that there's still more that they can get to, Jim. I think there's some stuff with the running game, and especially you mentioned the RPO stuff. There were practices that we were out there for in training camp. I know that you've seen there's wrinkles and variations even on some of this RPO stuff and misdirection that can get, Emeka Egbuka involved, Brandon Ennis involved in ways that we haven't quite seen yet. So I think going from week 1 to week 2, I hesitate to use the cliche that they were pretty vanilla against Akron, but when you compare that to the stuff that was added into the arsenal for week 2 against Western Michigan, and then what Chip Kelly and Ryan Day and the rest of that offensive staff could still put in play moving forward, coming off of this early off date, getting ready for Marshall, and then ramping things up for the start of Big Ten play, there's still a lot more that they can get to. I think in terms of the tempo and some of that stuff, I think there was genuine uncertainty about what the helmet communication and what was going to be like for Will Howard, for Chip Kelly, for everybody out there, if huddling was just going to be the safest way forward. But I think as everyone gets increasingly more comfortable with not just the playbook, but also the way they can communicate, whether that's signals, whether that is through the helmet communication, however they want to attack it, there is a lot more that this offense can still unleash moving forward. And I think that's probably a pretty scary thought for everybody on Ohio State's schedule.
Austin, as Chip Kelly came in, there was so much talk about his influence in the run game. Was that something that gave you pause for a second or two, like maybe it did some of us?
Well, initially you think that Chip Kelly's just got this reputation for pushing the tempo and, having a Heisman caliber quarterback 10 years ago at Oregon. And it doesn't immediately, or at least it didn't for me, it didn't immediately come to mind that Chip Kelly is this run game guru. But I think the way things worked out with Ohio State and Ryan Day landed Bill O'Brien, and the stay here was pretty short early in the year. But, one of those guys, to me, had a better reputation for, once you looked at it, being able to throw the football, and the other, which it wound up being with Chip Kelly, and really to, I think, Ohio State's advantage, the fact that he can come in and he wants to run the football, and not just that he's committed to it, but that he has some unique ways of working on the ground. And I think that's probably what this team really needed when we think about the last couple of years and the situations where Ohio State's offense may have sputtered and not getting things done in short yardage or red zone opportunities. I think that Chip Kelly wound up being a perfect fit for that. And through a couple of weeks, especially on Saturday night, what you were seeing with Will Howard only ran it once. I think that's another part that we're going to see more of that in the quarterback run game moving forward. But Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson and James Peoples coming off the bench, and what I mentioned with Jim about maybe Emeka and Brandon Ennis still being involved, there's a bunch of variety to Chip Kelly's run game. And I think that creativity and some of the emphasis on maybe a difference in approach and blocking schemes is really proving to be what Ohio State needed.
Austin, I want you to talk a little bit about the offensive line, but I agree with everything you've said so far. If you line up to stop our running game, we got 3 wide receivers. You ain't going to cover man-to-man, right? And if you're covering those guys man-to-man, we're going to run the ball. So give me your scouting report.
Yeah, first of all, it feels good to have you agree with me, Coach. So I'm on the right track. But you look at what the arsenal of skill position players, and it is not just Chip Kelly coming in to work with this stuff with the running backs and having Quinshon and Travion and James Peoples, but what has really elevated this entire offensive playbook and the arsenal for Will Howard is this rapid rise for Jeremiah Smith. And he was the number 1 wide receiver in the country coming out of high school, but I've always been one to, kind of tap the brakes on the hype. Let's see them come out and actually do it. There's so much that's involved with playing wide receiver at Ohio State, from the blocking schemes and understanding the concepts and route running and all these other things, that it takes some time. Even, the last really successful one to do it with Garrett Wilson, it was still halfway through the year before he really started taking off. But Jeremiah Smith, it's not just an advantageous situation for him, but it also puts Carnell Tate and Emeka Egbuka in better spots as well. So if all 3 of these guys wind up getting single coverage opportunities, that's a scary thought. I really just don't know what defensive coordinators are going to decide to do, because wrapped up in all this conversation from the questions that you guys are asking about the offense and Chip Kelly and the run game and the offensive line, like the RPO stuff, there's plays that involve everybody, like quarterback, running back, and wide receiver all at the same time. So it's sort of got this triple option flavor to it, a new way of doing it that I think is terrifying to opponents, because Ohio State has high level talent, and then a different way maybe to tap into it than they have for the last couple of years.
Austin, last thing, Ohio State's schedule is what it is. I mean, nationally, some pundits are downplaying and poo-pooing the MAC. I say go tell that to Notre Dame and almost to Penn State.
Yeah, you can't take anything for granted in college football. That's been true for a long time, but if you needed a reminder of that, just ask, Notre Dame and Penn State, like you mentioned, Skip, and look at some of the opportunities. Even in week one, Michigan struggling a little bit with Fresno State down the stretch, Mountain West teams. Like there's good football being played all over the place. I think NIL and the transfer portal has helped spread some of the talent around the country. So if you don't come ready to play on every Saturday, you're going to be in trouble. And I think that's one reason why, if anyone wants to downplay the schedule for Ohio State, that's certainly their prerogative. But one reason why I'm pretty bullish on what we've seen from the Buckeyes early is not because they're waiting to tap into their potential. They're already doing that. They've taken these first two opportunities very seriously, and you look at 108-6 after 2 games. There's nobody else really doing that right now.
Austin Ward, Rivals.com, Dotting the I's, the podcast. Austin, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Again, coming up next, we will unbelievably wrap up the program. Didn't we just start like 5 seconds ago? But we'll wrap things up with some chalk talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it's time to root the Buckeyes on to victory. You gotta scream to cheer on your team. But when you want to chill, try the Buckeyes Frozen Cherry Float at Burger King. Sweet cherry flavor, mixed with smooth vanilla soft serve. Grab 1 or 2 and refresh today when you're rocking the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. That includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown. Only at Burger King, where you rule.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
Wrap things up with some chalk talk tonight. Coach Cooper, Coach Day was on earlier with us. He told us how he's going to have it like a regular working week for his football team. How did you like to spend the bye week, so to speak, as far as just fundamentals, or did you work on some other things?
I liked a bye week, but I liked it more towards the middle of the year. You know, you're a little bit tired. You can rest your kids a little bit, but it's a great time to work on fundamentals.
Do you like, Paul and Jim, do you like the idea of how he's referencing it, just treating it like a regular week?
Absolutely.
Just no game? Being
this early. By the way, this is the earliest bye week Ohio State has had since, and I saw somebody write this, so it didn't come out of my mind, since the championship year of 2002. If you remember, guys, their bye week was Labor Day weekend. They had played the weekend before, had Labor Day off, and then had that consecutive run to a national title.
13 straight after that one. Yeah.
Jim, penalties hard to eliminate totally, but how do you work on that?
Just try to be cleaner, especially on the holding calls. We had 2 of those, I think, offensively, or one of those for sure that cost us a touchdown on, I think it was on Bryson, on Rodgers. But yeah, just try to work on those things. The targeting stuff, again, that's just, you're just playing football. And, you got to try to keep your head out of it possible for 2 reasons. One, you don't want to hurt yourself, and obviously you don't want to get, thrown out of the ball game. But just emphasized a little bit more. They didn't have, again, it was all in all pretty good. I know Inky Jones had one on a punt return, but again, it's if the guys are giving great effort, doing everything they can, sometimes you overlook it. But that's, the one thing that, one of my keys coming up for Marshall was eliminate some penalties, because we had 7 the first game. We had 6 this last game.
Get it down. And go ahead, Coach Cooper.
No, I was going to ask Jim, it looks to me like they've changed the rules a little bit this year. Aren't they making that offensive tackle lineup on the line of scrimmage?
Definitely in the NFL they are. Yeah, they called that a lot. In that first game on Thursday.
Baltimore, that poor guy.
Ronnie Stanley, he had 3 penalties, I think, in the first quarter. And the thing is that I was watching him. I'm like, just lean your head forward, because once the crown of your helmet has to break the center's numbers, and not his belt, but you got to break the numbers. So there's 2 ways to do that. One, you lean forward, so your head does, so you kind of get your head up a little bit forward, or you get your center some extra long numbers, you know what I mean? So it covers his whole back.
Well, people don't realize you have to have 7 people lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Yeah, that cost us a little bit in that first game.
Yep, it did. You got legal formations there.
Tough question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Just opinion. Which of Ohio State's transfers has had the biggest impact so far? You can only name one. Which has had the biggest impact so far?
Will Howard.
Jim?
I'm going to Will Howard, too.
Coach?
Unanimous choice.
Number 2 would be Judkins, and then Caleb Downs obviously settled things down.
They've all had impacts. I just
McLaughlin, too.
Close call and upsets last weekend. Again, we touched on this. How much of an attention getter is that to a football team?
Well, there was a quote from Steve Sarkisian today, the Texas head coach, as his team comes off that big win in Ann Arbor. He told his team, and this is paraphrasing it, don't get Notre Damed.
Yeah. No, you'll hear every coach say, let's go 1-0. Let's go 1-0. And you can only look at win 1 game a week, so you can't win it, your 5th game in week 5 and week 3. You got to focus on whoever you're playing and try to go 1-0 each week. And it's hard to do sometimes, because again, these are 18, 19, 22 up to 24 years old now with the COVID years. but you got to still focus on just getting that win that week.
Noon for Marshall. I think everybody in this room for sure likes the first to noon. We're up there, though.
When you coach at Ohio State, Notre Dame, places like that, you better get ready every Saturday.
Yep, they're coming after you.
All right, closing moments. Love it when we get to talk Buckeyes in the NFL.
Well, tonight we got obviously the 49ers versus the Jets. 49ers, Nick Bosa. It'll be fun to watch him go to work again in his 6th year now. And you got Jeremy Rucker, Garrett Wilson, Kendall Sheffield also with the Jets. Jalen Holmes is on that team. He's on practice squad. And tough news for Cameron Johnston. You saw where he hurt his knee. He's going to be out for the year for the Steelers. But how about the game by Justin Fields? He got to start with Russell Wilson being out. Beat Kirk Cousins head-to-head. That's not too bad in his first game. Ran for 57 yards, which is no surprise. Threw for 156, so pretty balanced. And then C.J. Stroud came back and was able to beat the Colts. Had a pretty good ball game. One good stat, he had 4 rushing attempts in that game. We didn't see 4 rushing attempts his whole career here at Ohio State.
Maybe 2.
Tough day for Ohio State. But the Browns got just spanked by Dallas.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have a tackle.
Bengals, Paul.
They've done that early every year.
Maybe.
Yeah, but they killed so many people in survivor pools this weekend.
It's like unbelievable. So maybe play somebody in a preseason game just to get them some reps.
Play some starters a little bit.
Just a little bit, just an idea. Coach Cooper, thanks for coming down talking football tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Always a good night when we get to talk football, Buckeye football, college football in general with Coach John Cooper. Guys, have a great week. Thank you for your time. Great job tonight. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Bodie Wells, and for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. As always, thank you for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
This week at Meijer, get more for your money in just one stop. Find fresh California green seedless grapes for $1.49 per pound. Delicious whole pork shoulder butt for $1.99 per pound. And select General Mills cereal for $1.99 per box. Plus, flu and COVID vaccines are available now. And you can earn M-Perks points at the Meijer Pharmacy. So schedule your appointment today. Get the same low Meijer price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about on my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and American Nitro Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest presented by Lowe's is back for year 2, and I'm so excited. We got the wing smoking competition that I'll be judging. Cold beer, food trucks, tons of wings, and a great cause. We're raising money for Ghosts of War, providing immediate assistance to veterans in need. So get your tickets at americannitro.com/wingfest. Free admission for all current and former military members. Brought to you by Lowe's, Columbus Chamber of Commerce, Dave & Buster's, Valpak of Central Ohio, Heidelberg Distributing, and more.
You reached James. Leave a message.
Hey, it's Annie from Chase. Congrats again on the new home to you, Alina, and baby Maya. So happy she gets a big new nursery.
House hunting? On average, home buyers save more in mortgage fees with Chase compared to a non-bank. We're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/wayhome. Source, 2022 Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. Loan application register. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.